Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing a video taking you through the entire LANCOME La Vie Est Belle perfume range. There are 15 different versions of La Vie Est Belle which you can buy at the moment. So I'm going to be taking you through what they all are, the difference between them all, and down below in the description box I will leave links to where you can buy them all in UK, North America, some Middle East, potentially Australasia and North America. If you're new here, then hello, we are all about perfumes here. Check out my hundreds and hundreds of other videos. I have videos just like this going through the whole range of a different brand. And if you're a regular but you haven't subscribed yet, then do hit that subscribe button and show your support. And you can support me as a channel member on Patreon, and you can subscribe to my newsletter for my website. And I do have an article on my website which goes through all the different versions of La Vie Est Belle as well, so I'll leave that link down below. Cool, so if you're a regular here, you'll know that LANCOME is one of my absolute favorite perfume brands. They make really good quality, long-lasting perfumes. There are lots of different LANCOME ones that I like. I own 5 different La Vie Est Belles, which I'll show you in a minute. I just love them as a brand. The bottles are beautiful, the fragrances last long. I find they use quite modern fragrance notes in their new ones, and I'm a big recommender of LANCOME. So the original La Vie Est Belle came out in 2012, so it's about 10 years old, with Julia Roberts as the face of the fragrance. And the idea is that it's all about smiling and living your best life, and the bottle has this semicircle shape where the liquid is held, which is like a big smile, just like Julia Roberts is known for her really big smile. They all come in these either square or rectangular bottles with this similar kind of shape, and they have different bows on them. So the original fragrance, this is actually a limited edition design. The normal original fragrance doesn't have these lines on it, but the original one is a praline fragrance with vanilla, so it's quite sweet. It also has a whole bunch of patchouli in there. Now patchouli really helps a fragrance last. It's in most best-selling perfumes at the moment, and it's that heavy vanilla praline and that patchouli which make this so good for lasting and for projection, and I think what's made this such a popular perfume. It is usually number 2, sometimes number 1 bestseller in most countries in the world, right after the Chanel Coco Mademoiselle and Chanel number 5. You also have a warm tonka bean in the base. Tonka bean is a really great ingredient. It's kind of warm and cozy, and again is good for lasting. Then you have some central feminine notes: orange blossom, iris, floral, jasmine. And then when you first spray the fragrance, you get a little bit of fresh pear, and you also get some blackcurrant, but I wouldn't say this was a fruity fragrance. It's really those warm patchouli and vanilla notes that come through. And I do think the reason why this is so successful is because it really does last, and it becomes someone's signature scent. So if you're looking for a gift, I would say perhaps the original, if you know they like sweet or strong scents, is the best option. And that's the original, which is an Eau De Parfum. In 2013, we got a glitter edition of this, which you can still get. I'll leave it in the links below. It's the exact same fragrance, it's just a glittery bottle, which is quite cute. And sometimes this is cheaper than just buying the original, so it could be a nice gift idea. In 2013, they then released La Vie Est Belle L'Eau De Parfum Gere, which I think might be discontinued, but you can still get it. This is essentially the same as the original, but with a lighter sense to it. It's a bit less creamy, it's a bit less intense. They've removed the orange blossom, they've removed the tonka bean, and most importantly, they've removed the patchouli. So if you don't like patchouli but you like praline, then this is the one to get. You can still get it. I'll leave it in the links below. I don't think this was a particularly big success, and it looks quite similar to the original, but it's essentially the original without that patchouli. In 2014, we then got the La Vie Est Belle L'Absolu, which is my favorite, I think, in terms of the look. It has this really deep purpley color liquid. Now this one is kind of a stronger, fruitier version of the original. The blackcurrant comes through much more in this than in the original. They've also really amped up the iris, which is quite the heaviest of all the floral notes in there. Added some rose as well, which gives it slightly more deeper. It's kind of a bit like misty or absolutely blooming. And then again, instead of the patchouli, they've replaced it with a cashmere woodiness. So that mixes with the praline, the vanilla to create a very cozy undertone, but that really supports that blackcurrant. So it's a little bit more fruity, sexy than the original, a little bit more nighttime perhaps. And I just like the bright pink purple liquid in the bottle. So in 2015, we then get La Vie Est Belle Intense. Now this is quite a different fragrance to the original. They changed up a lot of the ingredients in this one. So there's no praline, there's no vanilla. Instead, the base is a hazelnut and a whipped cream. So I guess kind of like praline, which is made from nuts, but it's really much more nutty than the original. You've then got much more white florals like tuberose added, ylang ylang, and there's also some citrus notes which you get in the first initial spray, some like lemons and oranges. But this is kind of like a almost chocolatey fragrance, much more about that hazelnut and the creaminess from the whipped cream. It's not as sweet vanilla as the original, it's more warm creamy. This one is really popular. If you like nutty warm fragrances, then this is probably the best one for you. I know this one is really quite a hit and it really has great projection. Sometimes when you ask someone what they're wearing, it will be this. Like, I think this is even better for projection than original La Vie Est Belle. That hazelnut really comes through and it just has a very creamy, homely sense to it. Good for autumn, winter perhaps, or evening, or if you just want that cozy feeling when you're curled up on the sofa. I really love a creamy hazelnut in a perfume. It makes it really comforting. 2015 also saw them launch La Vie Est Belle L'extrait de Parfum. So this is like a really strong concentrated version of the perfume. It's heavier, darker, it really majors in on the iris, which is quite a heavy powdery floral. And they've also added some like brown sugar in the base as well. So it's much darker. You've still got the patchouli of the original, the vanilla of the original signature scent. It's just like heavier and more intense and darker version. Sometimes this can be pricey. I'll see if I can find it at a good price for you because it is like a parfum rather than an eau de parfum, so it's much heavier. In 2014, we saw the Vie Est Belle Eau De Toilette launch. So this one was the first one to come in a long rectangular bottle rather than the square. And this is obviously lighter, being an eau de toilette, and they changed up the ingredients here to add an almond in rather than the blackcurrant and the pear, so all the fruity notes are gone. And they've also added some sugary notes, some spun sugar to the vanilla and the praline, so it feels a bit like a lighter sugary sweetness rather than a deep nutty sweetness. I think it has that nuttiness like the intense version does, but just lighter and not as intense. And I know this was quite popular compared to the original. I do think it is discontinued, but you can still get it online. It's just like a fresher, nuttier version of the original. Some people do find the original too much, so this is, you know, a lighter option. So in 2016, they then released La Vie Est Belle L'eau De Toilette Floral. So this was the first in the sort of floral phase they kind of had. This has basically every flower under the sun: rose, osmanthus, violet, mimosa, jasmine, magnolia, orange blossom, freesia, iris. And then you have a nod to the blackcurrant with a sort of cassis, and you have the patchouli from the original. But basically those sweet notes, the vanilla, the praline, any sugar, that's all removed. So this is just like loads and loads of flowers, like walking into a flower shop, massive bouquet of flowers. This is just the ultimate floral, flowery perfume. It's probably less unique than the originals. There are plenty of floral perfumes out there, but it's probably a bit safer. If you know someone likes floral perfumes, then this would probably be the safest gift for them from the range. The bottle's quite pretty, flowery. Not a lot to say about this really, it's just really flowery. Then in 2017, we got a limited edition called Bouquet De Printomp. Again, pretty pink, flowery bottle. This was a very simple one, just jasmine and orange blossom with some bergamot to help make this fresh. Very simple, pretty, a bit like your Elie Saab in terms of the orange blossom. This is probably, again, a really safe buy, but it is discontinued. But I have made sure all the ones I talk about you can get, so I'll leave them in the links. But basically one for your jasmine lovers, really. Just much simpler, cleaner, fresher than the Floral version. So in 2017, we then see the release of La Vie Est Belle L'Eclat. This is an Eau de Parfum. As you can see, I have this one. So this one really has the strength and lasting power of the original, but it's not sweet. Instead, it's really all about that orange blossom. It's kind of like Coco Mademoiselle, but orange blossomy. You also have jasmine and iris underneath, sandalwood. It reminds me like a very fresher version of Alien almost. You could layer this with Alien, I think, because of the jasmine. The patchouli is really not quite as strong, neither is the vanilla. Instead, there's a slightly woodier base, but really is all about that jasmine and orange blossom. And there's a bit of freesia in as well. This one is still very much sold. It's not discontinued at all. If you love orange blossom or jasmine and you're looking for something that really lasts, but isn't super expensive, I do recommend this. It is a really good, really strong eau de parfum. Some people find it too strong, so you have to really love those white florals and that orange blossom. I think it is very good value for money because it really does last, and it's a strong fragrance. And I quite like the bottle because it has all these like squares on it. In 2018, they then released La Vie Est Belle L'Eclat Eau De Toilette. This is a fresher version of that. They've added a load of citrus notes in here which really come through: grapefruit, orange, bergamot, even a little bit of tea. So it's really refreshing. I think this is the most refreshing of all of the La Vie Est Belle perfumes. I don't own it. I would like to own it, but when I see it in the shop, I sometimes grab it if it's like a hot day and I feel like, you know, I'll spray the tester just to get that orangey freshness. And then it fades down and you get the pretty orange blossom like Elie Saab. There's new Rolly in there, very fresh. And then you start getting some of the jasmine of the original iris, and the patchouli and vanilla is really hardly noticeable. It really is all about these fresh orangey floral notes. Really pretty, good for hot weather. And even though it's an eau de toilette, it definitely performs quite well. Not as good as the eau de parfum, but it's still, you know, Lancome eau de toilettes tend to perform pretty good. So 2019 saw the release of Lancome La Vie Est Belle en Rose. This one, I really like this one. It's probably the fruitiest one they've come out with. It has raspberry and red berries in, and then it has a really rosy heart. So it really reminds me of the Miss Dior perfume range, the Eau de Parfum and the Eau de Parfum Absolutely Blooming, but much more affordable. It even has peony in, like Miss Dior has with the rose. And then you have a patchouli base, but there's no sweet notes in here. There's no vanilla or praline. Instead, it's that floral rosy heart and then those fruity raspberry berry notes on top. Really nice. I really like this one. It is an eau de toilette, but it definitely performs well. You would never have guessed it was an eau de toilette if you didn't know, so I wouldn't worry about that. I think this would be good perhaps for a younger person as well. Young, you know, teenagers tend to like these type of scents. Rosy, fruity scents. But if you're looking for something a bit more affordable than Miss Dior, then definitely recommend this as a good alternative. In 2020, we then got La Vie Est Belle Intensement. This can be very simply described, I think. It's the original, but with raspberry added. So it smells very similar to the original. It's all about the praline, the vanilla, the patchouli, but then they've just added in a fruity raspberry note. So if you like the original and you like raspberry, then you'll like this. It's not massively different. It's just a little bit more interesting, a little bit more fruity. Amazing for lasting, just like the original is. And you get it in this like pinker liquid with the pink bow. So perhaps making it a little bit more like modern version of the original. You know, it's been a while since the original La Vie Est Belle, and raspberry is being used a lot in fragrances at the moment. So I guess they just like a slightly fruitier version of the original in my view. Not that that's a bad thing. And then in 2021, we have had quite a new creation to the range, addition to the range, La Vie Est Belle Soleil Crystal. This one comes in this nice, like shiny, like the sun iridescent bottle. And just confirming, it is an eau de parfum. So this is confusing because it comes in this rectangular bottle, which is what all the eau de toilettes come in, but it's not an eau de toilette. It's an eau de parfum. This one is a coconut perfume. You've got vanilla and coconut. So think Bronze Goddess, think Ariana Grande Cloud, think Dolce Garden. It's just like those. It's that warm holiday coconut sun cream vibe. There's some pretty florals in here. You've got the iris and ylang ylang and jasmine, and you've got a little bit of fresh citrus when you first spray it, but what really lasts is this coconut vanilla, really like tropical, going on vacation vibe. I wear this when it's feeling really tropical mood, perhaps when it's nice weather here this summer, which hasn't happened much, so I haven't been able to wear it much. But if you love coconut, you definitely have to try this. The lasting power is amazing on this. I remember when I first got it, I opened it, it was kind of afternoon, late afternoon, I sprayed it, and I remember waking up the next day and I could still smell it on my wrist. So it is very good for lasting, just like all the Eau De Parfums are. But very different to the originals with all that coconut. And then lastly, for 2021, I see they have released a limited edition version of the original, same original scent, but in a limited edition 2021 bottle that has a kind of like frou-frou netting thing on the top. I guess that's like a limited edition for Christmas or something. It looks cute. There have been a bunch of other limited editions of the original, just limited edition bottles, but I've only included ones in this video that aren't totally discontinued and disappeared from the internet. Cool, guys, so that's my rundown of the whole the Vie Est Belle range. Let me know what you think, which is your favorite. Let me know in the comments. I do read all your comments, and well done if you've managed to get through this whole video. There are so many, and I'm sure there'll be many more to come. But thank you so much for watching as always, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.